So I put together both of these TV sets because they both have beautiful picture. They also have a 4K with HDR support, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. They're also great for gaming and of course movies. I'm talking about the Hisense U8G and the LG CX Oled. So if you're in the market for either one of these TVs, this video is for you. Welcome to the channel, guys. I'm Jolster and let's do this! Alright guys, so I'm jumping straight to picture quality. That is the main reason you are buying a TV, right? Now both of these panels have similar features, but they use different technology. The LG CX uses OLED or organic LEDs that are self-illuminated. They don't need a backlight like LCD TVs do, nor local dimming. Now this means that the black levels are inky black and the contrast and highlights stand out. Now in some instances, they kind of look like three-dimensional. Now on the other hand, Hisense U8G is powered by LCD LED, which means that it uses a backlight to illuminate the picture. Now in this case, it has a full array system with 360 dimming zones. This improves the picture performance by dimming the parts of the screen that should be dark and keeping bright parts of the screen that should be bright. This also improves HDR performance. Now looking at both TVs side by side, I immediately noticed the brightness difference. The Hisense U8G is rated at 1500 nits of peak brightness, while the CX Oled hits around 600 up to 700 nits sometimes. That is twice the power on the Hisense, but as some people would say, brightness is not everything, and that is true. Having the best contrast available on a display makes some scenes look brighter. Specular highlights look stunning, but there is a but. OLEDs also tend to crush black levels, and I notice in dark scenes, I lose a lot of shadow details, where I can clearly see more on the Hisense. Now look, I love OLED, and I think it is the best picture you can get from a TV, but they need to improve their brightness levels, and I think that is what they're working on. The new Sony A90J is using LG's new panel, plus a heatsink to increase brightness. And it seems like LG will be doing the same thing next year, so I'm looking forward to that because once you see the difference brightness brings to the picture, it is really hard to go back. Now looking at the StarFuel tests, both TVs look great. Now obviously OLED performs better with deeper black levels and no blooming issues. The Hisense also did a good job, but you can see a bit of blooming around the stars, and this is normal for LED LCD TVs. Now, colors also look great on both panels, but I think they stand out more on the OLED because it has a higher contrast. They look a bit more saturated. Now remember, neither of these TVs are professionally calibrated, but I'm using cinema mode on the LG and HDR theater on Hisense, so they have a more natural looking colors. Now if you're a gamer, you are in luck. Both TVs have HDMI 2.1 features like auto logging latency, variable refresh rate, 4K at 120Hz, and even 1440p 120Hz. Now the LG CX has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, while Hisense only has 2, and one is the EARC for audio. So if you have both consoles, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, plus a receiver or a soundbar, well, you're going to have to share one port. Now games look great on both TVs, but once again, Hisense has the brighter panel, so I can see more shadow details, especially in dark games like Gears 5. You know, I didn't even realize how much of an impact makes having higher peak brightness until I went back using my OLED TV after using the U8G for a while. It's like night and day difference. For example, OLED, you can clearly see colors shine better. I feel like colors have more saturation and they also have better contrast, so they obviously stand out a lot more. But then when you start seeing like the dark scenes or shadow details, that's when you realize how much big of a difference and how important it is when you have a bright panel. In this case, the Hisense U8G, it allows me to see a lot more even in a dark area. So for games like this, for example, Assassin's Creed, it's not that big of a deal, but there are some areas that are definitely look better on the Hisense U8G. Now both TVs also offer Dolby Vision, but one advantage of the LG is that it has Dolby Vision for gaming support, which means that you can play with the lowest input lag possible. Now on the other hand, Hisense doesn't have game mode for Dolby Vision and the input lag is too high. So gaming in Dolby Vision with the U8G is out of the question. Now movies look great on both TVs. Hisense has improved a lot with their motion engine. I use smooth motion for movies and they look very good. Now of course this is my choice. There are plenty of other options available and you can also make custom settings. The upscaling on both TVs is also great, but I feel OLED looks a bit better. The Alpha 9 image processor is top of the line, so if you watch a lot of cable TV, I think OLED is probably the best option. Now both TVs have great operating system. Hisense has the Android 9, which is fast, reliable, easy to use, and it has all the applications that you need available. And same with LG. They have their own WebOS, which is easy to use and very friendly user. Now both TVs have voice assistants for direct access to apps, movies, or certain commands. LG's remote has the cursor, which sometimes is annoying but also faster when typing. Hisense remote has direct access to Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, and Disney Plus, which are the apps that I use the most. So honestly, it's really hard to decide which one is better because both have great features. Now overall, both TVs have their strengths and weaknesses. I feel Hisense is the best for bright rooms, or if you have a big window next to your TV and there's a lot of sunlight coming in. Even if you have a dark room, you can just adjust the backlight and problem solved. Now OLEDs on the other hand are great for dark rooms or where you can have control of the ambient light. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but you have limitations with OLED panels. Now with that being said, I think also price will determine which TV to buy. As for right now, Hisense U8G, the 55-inch version, sells for $950, while the 65-inch version sells for $1,300. Now the CX OLED is from last year, but you can still buy it from Amazon. The 65-inch version sells for $1,850 and the 55-inch version sells for $1,550. Now the C1 from this year is a bit more expensive. The 55-inch version sells for $1,800 and the 65-inch sells for $2,500. So that is a substantial price difference. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about this? Are you guys willing to pay extra cash for those deep black levels? Or maybe you just prefer a brighter picture and also save some cash? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Joelster, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Joelster out.